Fitnat al-Qabr. What was the second event? Adab al-Qabr / Na'im al-Qabr. Okay? Are you guys with me? Everybody with me? Okay, so we did 2 events so far, okay? Alright. Now, this period where the people wait inside their graves and experience either pleasure and delight or punishment, this period is called what? Al-Hayat al-Barzakhiyah. Okay? I don't know how we could translate in English, I guess like a limbo. It's like a limbo between the life that we know and the life in the hereafter. They'll live in this limbo, either in pleasure and delight or in punishment. And this will continue until when? Until Qiyam as-Sa'ah. Okay? Until the final hour. Now, this final hour won't just happen like that and catch people off guard. But rather, this final hour will have what? Have what? It'll have asharat. Okay? It'll have asharat. It'll have what? Signs and portents. Things that point to its what? Its occurrence. And these portents, these signs of the last day, are of 2 types. What they call al-ashrat, or al-asharat, al-asharat al-kubra, or al-asharat al-sughra. Okay, so we have the major signs and the minor signs. Now, among the minor signs is what we find the hadith of Jibreel, in which Jibreel, he asked the Prophet, he said, "Akhbirni an as-sa'ah." He said, inform me about the last day. When is the last day? Tell me when it is. And the Prophet ﷺ, he responded by saying, "Mal mas'ulu anha bi'a'lama min as-sa'il." Bi'a'lama min as-sa'il. He said, the one who is being asked has no more knowledge than the one being questioned. Now, I want to ask you a question before we go on here. Why did the Prophet answer in this way? Why did the Prophet answer in this way? Why didn't he say, La adri, I don't know? Why didn't he say, La ilma li, I don't have any knowledge? Okay? Why didn't the Prophet attribute a lack of knowledge to himself? Instead he said, Mal mas'ul anha, the one who is asked has no more knowledge about the last day than the one who is asking. Why did the Prophet answer in this way? Does anybody know? Can anybody think why the Prophet, what was the wisdom behind him wording it like this? Go ahead.
Couldn't he knew that, like, he's Jibreel?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, somehow, because he knew that who asked him is Jibreel.
Okay.
Yeah.
He knows it's Jibreel.
Yeah.
But he knows that no one knows except Allah. So, you're Jibreel. You don't know, I don't know. Why didn't he just say, I don't know? Why did he say, Mal mas'ul? The one who is asked does not know any more the answer than the one asking. Do you guys know the reason? Because if the Prophet said, La ilmendi, la adri, he said, I don't know, that wouldn't close the door for someone else to come along later and say, what? I know. The Prophet didn't know, but I know. I've been given something that the Prophet was not given. But when the Prophet said, the one who was asked, that includes the Prophet and anyone? Anyone else. So no one knows when the Day of Judgment will be except who? Allah. And that's why the Prophet answered the question this way, to close the door on anyone who might come later and say, I know, ask me. You guys see that? Okay, so then, this last day it has what? Asharat. And these asharat are sughra and kubra. And among the sughra is what the Prophet said in the completion of this hadith. He said, Jibreel said to him, فَأَخْبِرْنِي أَنْ أَمَرَاتِهَا. Tell me about its signs. So the Prophet said, أَنْ تَلِدَ الْأَمَةُ رَبَّتَهَا. That the slave girl will give birth to what? Her mistress. Meaning what? The woman who is going to actually be what? Her master, and tell her what to do. Is that right? And he went on to say, وَأَنْ تَرَى الْحُفَاةِ الْأُرَاةِ رُعَاءَ الشَّاءِ يَتَطَاوَلُونَ فِي الْبُنْيَانِ. And you will see the barefoot, naked shepherds competing with each other in making what? Tall buildings. So these things that the Prophet said in this hadith, and he said in a few other hadith, he's pointing to what? Some of the minor signs. And some of the scholars, they try to explain that when it says and تَلِدَ الْأَمَةُ رَبَّتَهَا, it refers to what? Rebellious children. That the children will treat their parents as if what? They're their slaves. And they will talk to them in a way that the master talks to what? His slave. And they say, this is what we're experiencing now. Okay? And they say another, what the meaning of يَتَطَاوَلُونَ فِي الْبُنْيَانِ is what we see now of some people from certain countries who they lived in poverty and they were very backward people. And then now we find them, they've been blessed with lots of wealth, and instead of using this wealth in khair, they use it in doing what? Competing and having the tallest building in the world. Is that right? So some people say these are what? This is what the Prophet was referring to when he said what? These what? Minor signs. Now, these minor signs, they indicate what? The qurb of Yawm al-Qiyamah, the closeness of the last day. But it doesn't mean that it's what? It's close like what? Tomorrow, the next day. This means what? It's getting what? Closer. Are you with me? But there are some signs, what they call al-asharat al-kubra, the major signs which indicate what? That the last day is around what? Around the corner. And these signs will follow each other the way that if you had a pearl necklace and you cut it, how the pearls would do what? They would come one after the other. You guys see that? And these asharat are what? 10. 10 major signs of the Day of Judgment. And they will occur in this sequence. The first one, Khuruj al-Dajjal. That the Dajjal, the great liar and deceiver, will come out. Okay? And he'll wreak havoc on the earth. And he'll misguide people. And he'll have miracles and things which make people believe that what? He really is a prophet, or he really is Allah, and so on and so forth. So people what? They'll follow. The next one is Nuzul. Nuzul Isa. Isa will come down and kill Ad-Dajjal. The next one, Khuruj Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. That these beings who Allah has created will come out, and there will be a larger number, and they will wreak havoc on the earth to the point that they will come, it was such a large group of them, they'll come to a large lake or river. And when they pass it, each one will stop to what? To drink. And he'll just take what? What they call the ghirfa. Set the hand and keep going. But because there will be so many of them, when they pass, the lake will be what? Dried up. It will be totally dried up. And each one just does what? And keeps going. You guys with me? Sorry about that. Isn't that disrespectful when the teacher's teaching and his phone goes off? I'm sorry. Let's shut that off right now. Okay. Alright, now. Alright, the next one is Khasfun fil Mashriq. In the east, there will be, the earth will open and will swallow people. Okay? And then the next one is Khasfun fil Maghrib. In the west, there will be another what? Opening up of the earth and swallowing of people. And then in the Arabian Peninsula, this will happen what? It will happen as well. So there will be three what? Khusuf. There will be 3 places in the earth where the earth will open and what? And swallow people. This will occur in 3 different places. In the east, in the west, and in what? Jazirat and Arab, in the Arabian Peninsula. The 7th one is Tulu al-Shams min Maghribiha. That the Shams will rise from what? Or the sun will rise from where? The west. Then the beast will come out. There's a beast that will come out. Then there will be what? A riyah. There will be a soft wind that will take the life of every believer. And at that moment, no one will remain on the earth except what? Al-Kuffar, and the most wicked of people. And at that point, a fire will be ignited. And this fire will drive the people toward a certain corner of the earth. For what? Al-Mahshar. For what? The gathering of the people and the establishment of what? The last day. So these are the 10 signs of what? Of the last day. And they'll happen one after the other like pearls falling off a pearl necklace. Okay? Then after that we'll have what? The next event is what? Al-Qiyamah. Al-Qiyamah. And Al-Qiyamah means what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will cause the bodies of those people buried in their graves to be reunited with their what? With their souls.